Bicuspid aortic valve. What is it? It's a congenital heart defect in which the bicuspid aortic valve contains two flaps instead of three, like our normal heart. But why am I researching this? My dad was born with this heart defect, and I know very little about it, and I don't know if I have it too, since it's hereditary and 50% of my genetics come from him. How does a bicuspid aortic valve affect homeostasis? It can cause certain heart problems related to the aorta, such as aortic valve stenosis. Since the valve has only two flaps, the heart has to work harder to get blood pumped out to the rest of the body. It can also reduce or block blood flow, hindering transport of nutrients and oxygen, and the left ventricle would become enlarged and weakened, which would eventually lead to heart failure. There's also aortic valve regurgitation. Because of the reduced number of cusps, the valve doesn't close properly, causing blood backflow, which is not supposed to happen in the heart. Another heart problem a BAV can cause is an enlarged aorta, or aortopathy, which increases the risk of a tear in the lining of the aorta. This is also called aortic dissection, which can cause death. I don't feel so good. I'm just gonna walk away from this and pretend like I didn't see it. You didn't see this either. So a BAV can cause heart problems, yes, which in turn affects the blood flow throughout the body and the circulatory system. But it can only cause these problems if you neglect it. Bingo! But how do you treat a bicuspid aortic valve? There are no medical treatments to prevent a BAV from causing these heart problems, aside from surgery and having an artificial valve to replace it. But what my dad does is he makes sure he eats healthy, exercises regularly, and manages any health problems that he has. I also want to mention a documentary my dad showed me after I told him what I was researching for this homeostasis project. It's called Open Heart on Netflix, and it's about Henrik Lundqvist, a goalie from the New York Rangers who had to get surgery to fix his bicuspid aortic valve. I recommend you go and watch it. Oh, and another thing I want to add before I end this video is that according to some research that my dad did while I was working on this project, since I asked about it, turns out that women are less likely to have it than men, which is somewhat good news for me, but I still don't know if I have it, so maybe later on in my life I will get a test for it and I'll see if I have a bicuspid aortic valve. I don't know at this point. But it was interesting learning about it. As for research, I mainly use National Institutes of Health website and also the Britannica website and a couple others that had some information on a bicuspid aortic valve.